Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, continuation of our TNT review series. We go into the 12th of July, 1985, and this is a relatively innocuous show, kind of skippable. They try something different here. Jesse Ventura, the top heel commentator of the day, perhaps some would say of all time. I'd say in top three, behind Bobby Heenan and maybe Roddy Piper, the original one to do it. Anyway, um, uh, Ventura, given the host duties, he brings out a dancing Prince mock-up who doesn't want to say much. He barely speaks. Obviously, it's not Prince. That's the whole gag here. Anyway, Jimmy Hart comes out. He's hyping his upcoming individuals, Greg Valentine and Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation, and the like. Jimmy Hart also talking about having access to King Kong Bundy, who obviously is a mountain of a man from WrestleMania 1, beating SD Jones, almost LD Jones? No, SD Jones in a matter of seconds. Interview with Greg Valentine. Jesse and Valentine have great rapport, obviously, because Jesse's a heel. They do show clips of a Greg Valentine contest here. Of course, Valentine is a Intercontinental champion. I believe still champion at this point if he hadn't lost it pretty quickly, but I don't think he's lost it quite yet because I remember Tito being on an episode right after winning it back. But suffice to say that Valentine and Ventura have a very clear relationship here. Vince McMahon is now in the interviewers circle. He calls Jesse Ventura a fraud. He calls him weak. He calls him all sorts of names, and doesn't think that Jesse's going to produce Prince, and obviously he doesn't. Jim Brunzell, and we see a Jim Brunzell match with Moondog Spot up next, but Brunzell, who's new, actually surprised to see Ventura go out of his way to put over the height of the drop kick. Talks about Brunzell's previous accomplishments without naming promotions. Talks about him being a world traveler. Obviously, Jim Brunzell, member of the High Flyers with Greg Gagne in the AWA, where Ventura did the majority of his wrestling work before coming to New York. So obviously they have a personal relationship, which they kind of hint at but don't really touch on because of Vince's nowhere else exists but here mentality. Brunzell against Moondog Spot is in a clipped match. And obviously that goes in the favor of Brunzell. Brunzell uses speed and drop kicks and basically out wrestles the Moondog. Brian Blair comes out. They begin to tease the Killer Bee tag team. And he, basically challenges Jesse to man up. And then we see, obviously, the nature of the Prince, for lack of a better term, interview segment / dance segment. Vince McMahon closes the program calling Jesse a fraud. Really a somewhat lackluster process here. Nothing on this program that you really need to see. Obviously, they're trying something different with Ventura in the host chair. It doesn't work. I do believe that he is, at the time, hosting or co-hosting Primetime, so maybe they're just trying to get some crossover from the Primetime program. Suffice to say, I wish WWE would put the 85 prime times up, and for the heck of it, put some 90 through 92 prime times up while they're at it. I'd love to see that whole show up. Primetime Wrestling, one of my favorite all-time WWF programs, but it's not in completion, but we will be reviewing those as well eventually. We're hoping to be the largest audio archive of wrestling reviews and interviews on the internet eventually. We need your help, though. Like, subscribe, comment below if there's something you want to hear. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.